Hey guys, it's Karalynn and welcome back to the podcast. Today we're going to talk about all things safety. I have Sumit Anand with Aggie Safety to talk about safety and how you can incorporate it into your business, how you can have your team take it seriously, how you can save money on insurance, all of those good things. Good morning, Sumit. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Karalynn?
Doing great. All right, so before we jump in, tell us about yourself, kind of like where you got started and how you got to where you are now.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a chemical engineer by training, and I did my bachelor's in chemical engineering from India. And in January of 2003, I landed in the great state of Texas. I went to master's to Texas A&M, which is just 100 miles off north of us. And I would say I was very lucky that I got a professor, an academician, who's now known as, pioneer in process safety. So to be honest with you, I didn't know S about safety, and I learned safety, process safety from him. And it was under his guidance and mentorship that I did my master's. We got some research papers in and all that, and I graduated. And then basically I worked for some big names here, Kellogg Brown and Root, Citgo, and then last stint at corporate America for 12 years at BASF. It's one of the big chemical companies. And I was really working in those companies a lot on process safety, occupational safety, a big major role. And I used to represent those companies into, basically national represented or national, you can say, institutions or, like APIs and NFPA. So we used to represent them and influence the code changes, in terms of safety. But 2 years back, as an American dream, I started my own company called as Aggie Safety, proudly saying as Aggie. And last 2 years have been first 6 months were very challenging, to be honest with you, a lot of sleepless nights, but it has been a very rewarding and, learning experience, to be honest. And we have diversified. We have a small team now, myself. We have senior OSHA experts with us who have worked on OSHA compliance, a lawyer, and a lot of safety technicians. So currently, as a company, we offer a lot of occupational safety services to small and medium businesses around Houston area. That's like in-person, boots on the ground approach. And then, of course, I do a lot of engineering, my traditional process safety work for big companies. That's about me.
Tell us more about Aggie Safety. So you offer this. How does it work? Like, how would somebody sign up if they know they need to say, yeah, how does it work?
So we do have traditional clients. A lot of referrals come in because I bought a small company, Lone Star Loss Control, which has done business here in the Houston greater area for more than 30 years, offering basic safety, construction safety and all that to small and medium businesses. So by virtue of that, we got those clients. And then on top of it, last 2 years, we have ventured out into a lot of marketing. So we have a good website and good Google, people who take care of us. And then, of course, word of mouth and referrals is what we get, where one happy client can give us up to 5 to 10 clients, and we help them in their safety compliance.
So do you make a plan for them and then enact that plan? Is it remote? Is it in person?
Okay, very good question. So it can vary a lot. In safety, we traditionally say there are 3 pillars. First of all is your documentation. A company must have a business which has some kind of risks, must have a health and safety program, some basic safety procedures, policies. And they must be also well written, revised at upgraded at regular intervals, and then trainings must be conducted for their employees on contractors. That completes that pillar. Unless you do it and put it in writing in court of law, you have no say. That's how the law works. So that's the first thing. Second pillar, we say train and educate your workforce. So there comes the actual training. So let's say a roofing company, their biggest issue is fall protection. By law, above 4 feet or 6 feet, you have to have fall protection systems. So your folks should be trained. They know how to use the fall protection arresting systems and all that stuff. Trainings must be conducted in English or Spanish, which we have a big workforce out there. So it can be comprehended by those folks. And likewise, we can go into many trainings. Forklifts, they are used all over the places, warehouses, companies. And forklifts is one of the biggest incident occurrences because not just by forklift, but the pedestrians around forklifts, they get injured because of the forklift drivers not paying attention. So like this, lockout, tag out, machines with high energy must be locked out, tagged out by authorized people, unless they can emit a lot of electricity, pressure, hydraulic oil and all that. I'm going to too much weeds, but basically it can land up in a lot of trouble. So that's where your trainings and certifications comes in. And it has to be done at regular intervals. enforced it, make sure the people are understanding the trainings by means of measuring or checking upon them with quizzes and tests and all that stuff. And then the third pillar, as one of our very famous presidents, Ronald Reagan, used to say, trust but verify. So inspections and audits are a part of it.
Gotcha.
We cannot just put a plan in place and assume it's going to work by its own. You have to inspect, you have to audit, you have to do it by yourself, or you can engage third party. And that's also one of the things, Karalynn, we help a lot of clients of ours to help their OSHA inspections, OSHA mock audits and all that. So they are ever ready, in safety compliance.
Yeah, because, how many people come to you when something's happened and they don't have any of this?
That's a major thing, afterthought, like you go to a lawyer or you go to a doctor when the damage is already done, right?
Exactly. Try to fix it, then do better next time.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are some of the problems with subcontractor safety?
Okay. Again, a very good question. So what we see major issues with the subcontractors is some of the companies are less than 10 employees. And by means having less than 10 employees, even by rules and regulations, you may not be required to have all the documentation. And that makes them think that they don't have to do anything, which again puts them actually at a lot of risk. So basic safety documentation, contractor safety must be done. Doesn't matter. You may be a one-man show, that's fine too. You should have a company, simple documentation policy. We're not talking about a dissertation here. It can be a very, very simple document of 20, 25 pages, but that will cover you on a lot of legal issues. And secondly, again, the issue is enforcement. We don't see enforcement in these companies of the rules and regulations. What we see is many of these companies, even small or big contractor companies, they approach us a lot. Hey, do it all for us.
Yes.
Because that's fine. That's not their forte and they don't know. But as again, a small consulting company, we are very cost conscious because cost is I would say, prime important thing for small business owners. It's a make or break. So we do offer services in a very cost effective manner, both English and Spanish, bilingually. That helps them a lot.
So it's like a flat fee, a subscription pricing?
It can vary. Yes, it can be a flat fee for a very small company.
Gotcha.
It can be subscription based. So we have a lot of companies who are subscription based on a monthly safety meeting,
Gotcha.
on a quarterly safety meeting, where our technicians will go, we'll do the bilingual trainings for them, ensures their people are getting those trainings, safety topics. In reality, some of them are mandatory by law, like how to use a fire extinguisher, how to act in terms of emergencies. And these days, heat illness, heat stroke is becoming a very much important thing in Texas with the warmer temperatures. Fourth thing is hazardous communication. How do you deal with hazardous materials on your workplace? So some of them are mandatory, which, unfortunately, people are not aware of. They must be done annually. And again, by kind of the business or risk you have, as I said, roofing being fall protection, or if you're in a manufacturing facility, forklifts, cranes, mobile cranes, all other heavy machinery, excavators if you're using outside, lockout, tag out, they become very kind of mandatory for you. So it's more towards what kind of risk you guys are handling with. And when we go for assessment, we can, figure it out, what all they need. So we try to put a plan. And just to answer your first question, yes, we try to put a flat fee. It's not like a material and time based, because that doesn't work for small, medium businesses.
And I know most people that work as subcontractors sign a contract saying that they have a safety plan. And nobody asks for proof of it until something happens, right?
Okay. So again, I'm glad you're asking these questions because we see this problem day in, day out. So we can be approached by subcontractors. We can be approached by an owner company. Let's say roofing companies we have a lot of roofing companies who are our clients here in Houston area. What happens is they do engage a lot of subcontractors. Now, when we start looking at the documentation, of course, their own safety plan has to be accurate and all that stuff. But then we ask them, hey, where is your subcontractor plan? And then many times there's no answer. And sometimes whatever documents we get, they are inadequate. Then we kind of push them back. Listen, it is on you also. If a subcontractor is not following the rules, something happens, you are also the owner operator of this operation. So law will not spare you. So you have equal role in this. So either you enforce a safety documentation on them, or you ask them that they can create themselves. Either way, it doesn't matter. But we all have to pay attention to safety, bottom line, because it can have repercussions. And now safety should not be taken negative or an expense. It pays you back. And there are ways to pay you back. We can talk about those things and others.
Yeah. So, I mean, how does it pay you back having a good safety plan? Most people think it's just paper.
Well, very well. You answer first thing. So if you're safer, first thing is you will increase the culture of safety and loyalty in your company, because an employee does understand this company, this management is spending money on me. They're taking care of me. We see, I mean, we've been in this business, right? For 30 years, as I said, my parent company as well as my own experience, we see where we have a good safety culture, employees stay longer there, contractors stay longer there. So by means, virtue of that, you have your workforce there, you're getting paid. Now it can be indirect dollars, but a good businessman will detect it. And that's how good business is run. Secondly, the biggest thing, Karen, what you're asking is your insurance. If you have a bad safety record or you have injuries and all that, every year when your workers' comp insurance and your basic insurance review goes up, the underwriters look at your safety records. And that's one of the biggest thing that hits your EMR, experience modifier rate, which businesses understand. We like to have it around 1. If it is more than 1, it means you have a bad safety record. And underwriters use it as a thing to lower the risk of the insurance company. I mean, that they are also doing the business, so there's nothing wrong with it. Now, if you show 1 or less than 1, underwriters will give you a lot of credits. Gotcha. And that's where we have helped companies created their loss control reports for insurance agents, and agents have come back, man, no premium increase. I mean, in this inflation era, if there's no premium increase, that's also something. For that. And sometimes reduction too.
That's nice. That's always going up. Like, so if somebody gets injured, how long do you carry that as a bad mark on the insurance companies consider? Forever, or does it fall off after a point in time?
Yes, it does fall off. 3 to 5 years. It depends on the kind of injury and all other severity and all. But yes, good rule of hand rule is 3 to 5 years.
So yeah, and plus whatever, you're also saving the accidents that don't happen because people are informed.
Well, you will have to pay the workers' comp, the time away, all those medical bills and all that stuff. On top of it, as I said, indirect is, the culture of the company. Now, one thing I missed. Now, whenever big companies, reputable companies are engaging smaller firms or smaller contractors, they also look at your safety record. So you won't get big businesses if your safety record is not speaking by itself.
Really?
So that's very critical. And that's what also happens. I'll give you example is recently, I can't name clients, but I'll just give you example. A big chemical company was engaging a big turnaround. So they had to go out for bids, and they had all kinds of subcontractors, an HVAC company, an insulation company, and this and that, and blah, 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 blah. Now, many of these companies ended up with us to do their audit. Because again, we have a good presence on website and all, and local companies do refer us, and we did their audits. Now, those audit reports found the issues. They fixed it right away, or they planned to fix it, or they committed to fix it. And now those audit reports are sitting with the big chemical company for evaluations. So you see, any big jobs a small or medium businesses are looking for, they have to have an immaculate safety record. Otherwise, they won't get it.
So lost work, you can lose jobs because your safety record's bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything. Safety, as I said, first of all, you lose your employee. Second, insurance will kill you. Third thing is you won't get big job. So it is hitting your bottom line, your revenue. So that's very good.
So what can we do to improve subcontractors having safety plans? Make it required, make the owner check it. How can we improve this?
Right. So you work, I mean, depends who you work with. So if you're working with an owner operator, we always advise them, actually strongly recommend them. Your contractor must have their documentation and trainings in place. If they can't afford it, why don't you do it? It's okay, right? Because at the end of the day, you're getting a big job done. So that's okay. And that we have seen it. The big, owner operators don't mind it doing it for their subcontractors. So either way, just get it done and get it documented, first thing. On the contractor side, yes, a small contractor, you won't get jobs unless you have a good safety record. Because you may be able to get small jobs and all that, but you won't be able to increase your revenues or go for big jobs or bids, because the big companies will be looking back at your safety record, at your EMR, at your workers' comp, all that documentation. So I just give you example. When we bid for big chemical companies, refineries, they ask me 200 documentation. I can just tell you, our staff is on day and night on that. Give me this, give me this, give me this. And it has to be good in line. Decent one. You can't have a sloppy record. You won't get a job.
So why is safety everyone's responsibility?
Okay, very good. I think we can tailor it to what few of the things I said. So safety is everyone's responsibility because first of all, I think no one in the world wants to come to work and don't go back home the same way you come to work, right? With all your limbs and everything in shape, right? So
Yeah,
first thing
exactly.
is this. Some again, it goes back to the things we raised earlier is if you don't take it safety seriously, you or your coworker gets injured. Bottom line, it will affect your company's reputation and you won't get more jobs. So your reputation of the company can tremendously go down. Now, I'll give you some figures. A simple OSHA violation can land up you a, a fine of $17,500. Simple fine. Okay. Now, if it's a willful violation, it's $117,000
Oh my
if
gosh.
OSHA detects it. So basically, the business knew the problem, knew the gap, and they didn't do anything to fix it. And believe me, OSHA inspectors are smart. They'll do it. They'll find it out. So that now it's hurting. And then if it is beyond that, if it is multiple violations, multiple willful violation, OSHA can come and shut down your business right away. So now we are saying that you can lose your livelihood. So it's not just the owner or the manager or the safety advisor there who's really working 12 hours a day, firefighting mode. That's their job. It's everyone's responsibility. And if everyone works towards it, come on, it is going to make life so easy for everyone. You have documentation in place. Let's say OSHA comes to your site, they'll be out in like 1 hour. Oh man, they are fine and dandy. Now, OSHA is looked upon as a bad people. They are not. We as a company have worked with OSHA inspectors and helped our clients to work with OSHA inspectors. Very fair people, very hardworking people. In fact, that department has been hit. They have lack of staff and they work very hard. And they are very reasonable. We as a company have reduced fines of our clients hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars
Right.
because it's the way you deal with it. So
Yeah.
let's say OSHA comes in, you beat them up, you show off, they will beat you up, they will dig you up. But if you show this total sincerity, yes, this is something I missed, I know, I will fix it. You give them a timeline, they see your commitment. I've seen fines reduced 70% and 30 to 40% put it on a payment plan with no interest. Can you imagine how much it helps a business with cash flow issues, right?
Yeah, really. I can only imagine. So how does OSHA work? Do they just show up when it's an accident? Do they come random inspections? How do they work?
They have all the power. They can show up. So let me give example. They can be called in by sometimes by neighbors or some people who know something is going wrong in a business, disgruntled employee. It's unfortunate, whatever it is, the way it works. And if they're walking around in a construction area, they can see people not wearing PPE, personal protection equipment, hard hats, safety glasses, safety shoes. They can see people not wearing fall protection equipment on roofs. They can see, and then they can just come in there. So no one can stop them. They have this authority to come in and talk. But then there are ways to handle it. So we teach that also. And we have a very special, culture of safety course. It's 2.5 to 3 hour in-person training, which we do with supervisors, lead men, foremen, and all. So you know how to handle them. There are ways to handle it.
Gotcha. So doing the safety plan and everything that's legally required, but how do you make safety important, like as a culture, as a company culture? Do they put incentives around it? What is the best way to do that?
Okay, so I think it goes back to the safety pillars, right? First of all is documentation and training. Training will basically educate the people who don't know about it. That's fine. Then you do the specialized trainings and certifications. Keep doing it to regular intervals. Again, reinforcing the message. We as human beings, we have very sloppy memories. Father of process safety, Dr. Trevor Kletz. I was very lucky to work with him during my research at AM. He used to visit us from England. And he used to say companies have zero memory. Organizations have zero memory. Because if you look back into last 40, 45 years, lot of accident incidents have occurred because of repeated mistakes. If we don't reiterate the message, if we don't keep on telling the message again and again, it doesn't make sense. 5 years down the line, people will forget. And that's fine. We all forget. So you reiterate the message. It's not a checklist. So you don't have to feel bad about it. And subconsciously, it does get into your brain.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you one quick story on it. Why, safety. So we take it as a very pride. Safety is our passion, as a company. And I think it's a very noble profession. We do these safety trainings, meetings all the time. Just it happened like 3 weeks back. A person in one of the companies I was training, he came up to me and I said, I really love your trainings. You taught us how to use a fire extinguisher. I had a fire in my house last week. I knew how exactly to use it and I could extinguish the fire. That fire would have gone bigger and I may have lost my loved one, or at least damage in my house. Can you imagine? That's nothing a dollar value. That is nothing, but it's very gratifying. And I had a very good sleep that night. I said, okay, maybe I did something good. So it's not that you just everything is work. You can take back home. You can teach your kids. We teach a lot of ergonomics. People have back issues and all that, ending up with neurosurgeons and physical therapy. You can cut it out if you if you do the right things.
Do it the right way.
Yeah.
Tell me some of your favorite client success stories.
Okay, so one of the chemical companies, they were beaten up by EPA. Of course, they were doing something wrong. So we did their audit and of course make them a commitment they'll do the right things and all that. The whole process took it like 3 to 4 months. And when this report went back to EPA, they reduced their fine. I can't say the number, but 70%. And the owner was very happy about it. So we feel good about it, and they are, I think there are clients for life. So that's what it is. There is one roofing company who's with us for like 5 years. We do their inspection at job sites. They use us as surprise audit and inspections. And then they enforce that corrections are done. They use our reports to send it to their clients also, because, the clients feel happy about the enforcement and the good safety culture they're enhancing. They have seen the safety culture go up better and better. Now, we were talking about safety culture, right? It takes time and effort and money for that to show up. So, this company, 5 years, they feel very happy and they've seen tremendous improvements. There's a client of ours for last 2 years. They are one of the biggest plywood manufacturers in Houston. They have 2 facilities. Just actually last Friday, the owner walked up to me and he said, "You guys have improved our safety culture." I said, "Thank you, but I also needed your support. Unless management of the company is on our side, it doesn't work. It's all a team effort." So I said, "You gave us a free hand. We were enforcing it. We were enforcing for them because when I used to walk in there, if a forklift driver is driving high speed, I'll stop him. Hey, you got to stop. If he's not wearing a seat belt, I said, you must wear a seat belt." So I used to course correct them myself because they gave me that, they said, "You can do it. Don't worry about it." So I said, I needed that support from you to make it happen. And the other part is, again, it's like a human, emotional, or whatever you want to say. If your supervisor or your, co-worker saying some things, probably doesn't get into your ears. Like we keep saying to teenagers, I have a teenage daughter, she won't listen to me, right?
Yeah, really.
But if I show up as a safety, whatever they want to call as a safety coordinator expert from outside, I show up twice a month and I tell them, they listen to me. And that's what he was telling me. They were listening to you. So I said, don't worry about it, man. I see it at my home all the time. No big deal.
Yeah, really. It's life. All right. So if somebody wanted to find more about Aggie Safety, where would they go?
Where we look for?
Yeah, if they're trying to find you, where would they go? Where are you at?
On our website, we are on Google. We are on AI platforms too. ChatGPT and all that is recommending us because the way the algorithm works is they see your work, they see your website content, they see your Google reviews and feedback. So it's all going in a good direction. We want to grow and we want to be called as the premier service here. Again, our motto is very, very simple, driven by passion for safety, but also cost consciousness. Inflation and cost is killing small businesses and medium business. So safety should not be a deterrent on cost basis only. It should be for everyone.
Some people put it off because of the expense.
Right. You can do it in phases, prioritize the issues. You may have 10 issues, but prioritize them and keep doing it. Keep chugging along. Fine. You can't do everything 10 in 1 year, your budget constraints, that's okay. Prioritize and do it in 2 years, 3 years. That's also fine.
I mean, trust me, if you get sued because somebody gets hurt, first thing the other side's asked for, what's your safety plan? Do you have one? And something is better than nothing, I promise you.
Right. Now, if you allow me, you asked me other things on safety culture, right? I'll just finish up on those talking points. So in safety culture enhancement, it's very important that the safety supervisors or safety coordinators or managers of a company, small, medium business, they're well aware how to handle accidents, how to work during emergencies. Those are things we teach because, again, emergencies brings up a lot of problems, a lot of emotions. So you got to be calm and how to handle that, right? That's important. How to handle OSHA inspector, we talked about it. Again, safety is a journey. It's never done a checklist. And one thing is very common issue which leads to accidents or people putting in line of fire is complacency. We see that. I have done this for 20 years. I can do it. And my immediate response is, my friend, you've been lucky.
Yeah,
You didn't
really.
get hurt. You can get hurt with this behavior on the field in all the risks and hazard even today. So that thing has to be changed. It takes time to coach, train people. Again, we're not beating them up. Have simple conversations, one-to-one. This is simple human psychology thing, right? Understand why they're doing this and then coach and train them.